Hi, I'm the App Man, and here is the App of the Week. The App of the Week for this week is called Seed to Harvest, and is for the agricultural people, horticulture, anybody that needs to grow plants or deal with plants. So when you open the app, you see this page, which says Seed to Harvest, the name of the app. Viewing 2013 records. You can change that and put whatever year you want. So when you open to click on the change, you can either go back to the home screen, which is the one you were just on, or you can click on the plus new sign over on the top right. So you can put whatever year you want, going back all the way to 1963 and going forward. And then you can create, the records already exist for this, so we're not going to create it. So if we did, let's say we want to do 2014, and we could click on create, and then now we've got our 2013, 2014 records that we can go with. Or we could add new. So go back to the home. Now, as you can see, we're viewing the 2013 records. Then we've got the crop records and field records, and then options. Starting with options, we'll click on that to bring up what options we have. We can adjust the crop definitions. So here I've already put in blueberries as a crop, but again, you can either click on options on the top left to go back to the previous page, or you can click on plus new to create new crop. Give it a name. We'll say strawberries. You can tell whether it's an annual crop, biannual, perennial. We'll just say it's perennial. And then you click on create. And now we have those two crops, blueberries and strawberries. So if I click on strawberries, now I've got the crop name, the crop type, and then I can update. So we go back to our screen with our crop definitions, our field units. So we've just added another definition. Now we can do our fields. The fields would be where the crops are placed. Now if you're talking about a home, it'd be, you could just say your home as your field, or you could say the right side of the yard, the backyard, the front yard, left yard, whichever one, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to create a new field, give it a field name, we'll just say backyard. Description, this is behind the house. And we create that. So now we have the backyard. And we can, again, view it. We can delete this field if we want, or just update it and go on. So cancel, and go back to options. So now we've defined a field. Again, we can add more if we want. You can do units. You can go with pounds, bushels, bunches, heads, bags, and you can define, change the way it's worded, like for pounds, LB or LBS. You can change that to something else. If you want to write it out, you can write it out. The same thing with all of these. Backup, that's where you can back up the data. This says notice the data sent to you via email may or may not be sent using an encrypted connection. So if this is something that you don't want other people to know for whatever reason, then you may or may not want to back it up by sending it to an email. By clicking send backup, you acknowledge you have read to agree to the terms and conditions of service and privacy policy, which are pretty standard. So in order to set up a backup, you would just type in an email, whatever email address you have, and then you can send backup, and then whatever data is here would get backed up to that. Okay, you can restore from the backup. So if something happened, you lost all your data somehow, maybe you got a new device and you didn't want to have to, you had to download the app again, then you could restore from the backup file. Reset to defaults would wipe out the data and start it over from scratch. And set everything so you would not have any crop definitions, fields, units, any of that stuff would default back to the standard, which for crops would mean no crops listed, fields no list, fields listed. Support, you can support website. So if you click on that, it takes you to the website. And then you can send an email. For email support, will allow you to email. Okay, so we'll go back. And then documentation, again, goes to the website. And then here's the guide that tells you all about this app. So here you can get support home, getting started, upgrade guide, restore data, known issues. And then here's some things to get you started that you may or may not need to know. Okay. Send feedback, so you can send them an email telling them how you like it, what you think they might want to add to it, any of that kind of thing. And then the about is just to tell you the name of the app, Seed to Harvest Lite. This is the light version. There is a full version that's like $10 at this time that will give you more options. For instance, it says there the full version will allow you to generate and export complete crop and fields reports in PDF format. Visit the Seed to Harvest website for more information on it. And then it has a link to their Seed to Harvest website and Alex Software Development, which is a company that designed the app. Okay. And we go back to home. Now you've got crop records and field records. Now crop records are just going to be the records for the crops that we have. So in our crops for 2013, we said we have blueberries and strawberries. So if you click on blueberries, I've already inputted that we have one rabbit eye. So it says rabbit eye location, the side yard. So that's one field that we put in, and amount, one of them. So there's only one plant that's a rabbit eye. So then if you look here by going to the little arrow, so if you select it, you got the date that was planted on. I said March 20th. Location, side yard, amount one. The pot on just tells you how you planted it, whether it's a pot or what kind of pot. I did not pot on all the plants from the original planting. So basically, if it's talking about when you planted it, where you put it, where you've got it located in the field or yard, you could put how much it cost or how many items there are, depending on what you're looking at there. The potting on date, so starting from this date on, this is information we want to know about it. And then you can put any notes you want to know about it. And then you can select I did not pot on all the plants from the original planting, meaning I had several of them, but I started one on this date. Maybe in a week I'll start another one, and then I can compare them later. And then you can create that information if you need to. Okay. Transplant, if you transplanted the plant from one location to another. And again, same information, location, amount, So if you had 10 plants, you transplanted 5 of those, the date you transplanted them, any notes you have about them. And again, I did not transplant all the plants from the original planting. So if I planted these a month ago, maybe I'm transplanting them for whatever reason today, so I can put down whether I transplanted all of them or just some of them. Input records, harvest records, sales records, miscellaneous records. These are all types of records you could put on there. So input records, if you have, we've not inputted anything yet, so I could put new, select new. Now I can input whatever the input was, the quantity, the date, and any notes I have. Same thing for harvest records. We don't have any harvest records because we've not harvested anything yet, but if we have harvested, we can click on new, and then the date we harvest, how much we harvest, and then the unit we harvest them in, either bags, bunches, bushels, heads, pounds, and any notes we have, and then you create that record. Sales records, same thing. If we've harvested them and now we've sold some of what we've harvested, we put the date we harvested or sold them, how much we sold, how many units of, and what kind of unit they are, the price we sold them at, who bought them, because again, you may want to deal with that buyer again later, any notes you have, and then again, you can create that record once you've done that. And then miscellaneous records. This would be for anything, any other additional information you want to put in there. So the date, description, whatever that may be for that record. It's just another place to put additional notes that you may not need in the other areas, but you may want to have on there. Okay, and so that's basically what you've got. You've got field records. So if you want to talk about the whole field, again, what section of the yard, the date, description. So if you say the front right section of the yard, or however you just breaking it down, then you could say on this date we planted all corn seeds or all lettuce seeds, and then what types of lettuce did you plant, how many of each, if you wanted to put that information. Or you could break it down so that each one is a different one. And that is essentially your seed to harvest app. And again, this is a light version. The full version allows you to do other things like export it as PDF.